One of the things that that I want to talk about is labor, and I also want to talk about unions. Do you support unions?
I absolutely support unions. I have never been in a job where I have been, had a chance to organize, not because people were preventing us or whatever, but in the telecommunications industry, you've got the Communication Workers of America, you've got the IBEW. I've worked in a lot of places in my teaching career where I've had union people, of course, because they're the ones who are doing all the real grunt work,
Yep.
And in fact, actually, I remember one class in particular I was teaching out in Phoenix, Arizona, and they always sent me out there when it was, August. So I don't know if maybe that was a hint to me or something like that. But I was out there and I was teaching. Basically, my entire class was union. I had an area vice president. I had a bunch of shop stewards. I had a lot of people in there who really, they are the bread and butter, really, of the companies. Because the companies can't succeed without labor.
That's right.
And there is an absolute right to organize. Everybody has a right to organize to be able to get a better slice of the pie, basically.
Well, if it wasn't for the employees at the bottom of the ladder, management wouldn't look good.
Absolutely. They wouldn't get their nice salaries and stuff.
That's right. And their nice, filthy, big paycheck that they get, And, that's why I had to catch myself.
That was good. I saw that.
Because sometimes, whether you're in a small department or electronics department or a wastewater department or any other department, that you could be working in a factory. Those people are the ones that are the backbone of your company.
Yep. Yeah. We can again talk about how much money the folks at the top have to hire workers, but they need the workers to do the jobs. And so that's something I think sometimes is missed. I think that people really should have every opportunity to organize themselves, to bargain, and that's individual liberty there. I can associate with whomever I want, and I can get together with someone and say, no, we collectively decided that we need to have a better compensation or better working hours or whatever it is. Without unions, we wouldn't have the 8-hour day, we wouldn't have the 40-hour week, we wouldn't have child labor laws. I mean, these are all things that we accept as good today, and it was because of unions. So we're working on their backs, basically.
Yeah, and if unions were to dissolve, the wages here in the United States and Vermont would be going down because the employers would want more profit margin, so they would, hey, I don't like the way you comb your hair, you're gone, I'm going to get somebody for $7 an hour instead of paying $10 an hour.
And I mean, I think that obviously everyone has a right to try to make a buck and make profit and whatever, but if it is at the expense of the common benefit, then, there's something seriously wrong. And I think that Vermont has had a good tradition of organized labor and being able to protect, workers' rights, while still being, I think, a pretty good business environment.
I tried to get the guy that owned IDX, who was his name?
I know who you're talking about. But
and I tried to get him on my show. One day, I'm parked in front of the post office, and he comes up and knocks on my window, and he says, "Can you change your mind?" I had a couple of Bernie Sanders stickers on it, and I said, "Tell you what, you can come on my show." I says, "It's not the Paul Beaudry show." I says, "I'll make it a little harder for you, but I'll treat you fair just like anybody else." And 2 different times he never showed up. So last time I called this office, I says, "I'd like to know his address. I'd like to send him a package." She says, "Well, why do you want to send him a package?" I said, "I got a box of chicken feathers." I said, he didn't show up on my show twice. But he's a good guy. He's done a lot for, the different colleges, and donated
Champlain College has a center because of him and stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I can't remember his name, and I can remember seeing on the side of a barn going to through East Fairfield. Mm-hmm. It's still up there, and but, he's done a lot of good. You can't, run him down for that. I just thought, he chickened out on coming on my show. So, but that's the way it is. NAFTA.
Yes.
What do you feel about NAFTA?
Yeah, I think that it's not been very good for us. I like the concept of free trade. I mean, I think, we like to try to change it to be more a fair trade. I think the idea of, being able to try to work with our neighbors on this continent is a great idea. I don't think that it has really helped us. I think, unfortunately, what we've ended up seeing with a lot of our trade policy of late, the free trade policy, has been just shipping our jobs overseas. And I think that we need to do more to create a good job environment here by keeping those, you know. I mean, I appreciate other countries have good workers and they have their own economies that they're trying to build, but we can't just for, again, just for a buck, you know, the bottom line kind of thing, you know, get rid of workers here to go, you know, just exploit somebody somewhere else. And I think that's a real problem that we're facing, and especially now, you know, we're at a cusp in terms of things like renewable energy, where we could be the leaders in that and create the jobs of the future, jobs right now, and have that great growing economy again. But unfortunately, you know, China's leading the way. You know, and again, I have nothing against China. Well, there's some political things I guess we have against China, but you know, I wouldn't want to live there right now. But you know, they can go ahead and try to grow their economy. I'm glad they're trying to be more capitalist, but it's at our expense right now. And I think that unfortunately our policies and our politicians have just allowed that giant sucking sound, I think someone might have said during the 1992 campaign, and it's become a reality.